Today we'll cover chapter 12, third topic, that is power of investigation, which runs from section 156 to section 159. Before starting the video, thank you friends for subscribing the channel. Police is granted with the power to investigate the cognizable offence without order of magistrate. Now, the horizon and scope of power and procedure of police investigation is discussed from section 156 to 159 as against power to seek attendance, power of search and seizure. So power of investigation, section 156, investigation of cognizable offence, 157, procedure for investigation, 158, report how submitted, 159, power to hold investigation or pre-inquiry. This is inquiry, INQUIRY. It does matters, we'll deal with this in later. Now, steps in investigation. First, FIR is to be filed, then recording of statements, search and seizure, arrest of accused, filing of charge sheet. So after these two steps, FIR and recording of statements and search and seizure, at this junction, if police founds no evidence or sufficient evidence are not there. Okay, so two things, no evidence or no sufficient evidences are there to commence trial. Then IO, that is investigating officer, would file closure report. Otherwise, step 4 and 5 are followed. So if closure report is submitted, it means then sufficient evidence or no evidence are there to commence the trial. If evidences are there, then arrest of accused and filing of charge sheet. Now, these points may overlap each other, means accused may be running from the justice and then charge sheet may be filed but arrest has not happened yet, or vice versa. Conclusion of investigation would either be closure report or charge sheet. Section 156, clause 1 talks about police officer or investigating officer IO may investigate any cognizable offence without the order of magistrate. Now, the IO, investigating officer, is not mentioned in this section, but the police officer may investigate, and the police officer who is investigating is known as investigating officer, IO, may investigate any cognizable offence without order of magistrate. Order of magistrate is not required while investigating cognizable offence. Now, the wing cognizable and non-cognizable is there to bifurcate the workload between police and magistrate. The crime with less gravity or mainly the private criminal acts would be by way of complaint dealt by magistrate. So now first point in section 156 clause 1, the police can investigate even without a FIR. In my previous video, I told you that FIR is required to run the investigation. That is a general statement. So, if police officer has reason to suspect the commission of a cognizable offence, then police will not wait to get the FIR lodged. They will start the investigation, but they will file the FIR as soon as possible. Now, this is a statutory right to conduct investigation, and it cannot be interfered or controlled by the court or magistrate. It cannot be controlled or interfered by judiciary. Now, this was held in King Emperor versus Khwaja Nazir Ahmad. Third point is that the function of judiciary commences after police submits its report. So when police submit the report, then only the judiciary can function. Before that, investigation is the zone of police. However, court may interfere on the basis of protest petition. Protest petition means when informant or victim, they are not satisfied with the investigation of the police. In that case, they will file the protest petition. They will file application in the magistrate court and it would be considered as protest petition. In such a case, magistrate may order to reinvestigate the offence. If investigation may result in miscarriage of justice, then also judiciary can interfere. However, one thing is to be remembered, the purpose of 159 magistrate, he can not interfere, but he can put a check in the investigation, which we'll deal in further during the lecture. Now, fifth point, police can investigate cognizable offence committed beyond their jurisdiction. Every police station has his area of jurisdiction, his territorial area. So if offence has committed beyond that, then also police can investigate. Now, by virtue of section 181 to 183 of chapter 13. Now, such investigation may be transferred to police having jurisdiction. So there is no bar that the police which investigated the matter, offence did not took place in their jurisdiction, unless there is miscarriage of justice. Section 156 clause 2, it is here to protect the investigations where there is irregularity or no grave default or fault has been there. So no proceeding would be called on the ground that police officer was not empowered to investigation. If police officer was not empowered to investigate the matter, but he investigated it, in such cases, if there is miscarriage of justice, then trial may be set aside. Otherwise, it is not fatal for the trial. Trial will go on, and it cannot be contested that the police officer was not empowered to investigate. Section 156 clause 3, the most important one. Any magistrate empowered under section 190 may order such an investigation as above mentioned. So the power of police to investigate a cognizable offence without warrant, without order of magistrate. Now, by virtue of 156 clause 3, any magistrate can order to investigate the matter as it is mentioned in section 156 clause 1, but there police is doing it by statutory provision, but by this clause magistrate is ordering the police to investigate the matter. So in what cases it is happening? If a magistrate has received information under section 190, so 190 talks about by what virtue magistrate can receive information. It has 3 clauses which we'll deal in next lecture. Then he, instead of taking cognizance, may direct police to investigate the matter. So before taking cognizance, magistrate can order the police to investigate the matter by virtue of section 156 clause 3. Now police has to lodge the FIR and start the investigation. Now this is one way by virtue of section 190. Then if police refuse to file the FIR and SP also refuse to get the FIR filed as mentioned in section 154, then informant may approach to magistrate, and magistrate under section 150 clause 3 would order the police to investigate. Now police has to file the FIR by virtue of 190. It means by virtue of 190 he is empowered to do such act. However, in order to reduce the confusion, we are deleting these words, so it is now much clearer than that informant may approach to magistrate, and magistrate under 156 clause 3 would order police to investigate. The only difference is that magistrate has directly approached while we are dealing with this box, and while we are dealing with this box, the informant first went to police and then he approached to magistrate, but in this box he has directly approached to magistrate. Now, after conducting investigation under 156 clause 3, if police submits that there are no proper evidence or no substance, in that case magistrate, instead of rejecting, magistrate should consider to process the complaint under section 200. So section 200 onwards, it talks about the procedure when magistrate entertain a complaint case. A complaint is entertained by magistrate. So after getting the report of police under 156 clause 3 that no proper evidence are there, magistrate, if thinks so in the interest of justice, should consider to process the complaint under section 200 and may further order investigation under section 202 clause 1 if situation arises. So the investigation as ordered by magistrate under 156 clause 3 is different from 202 clause 1. So what is the difference between two sections? Now, order of investigation under 156 clause 3 is given before taking cognizance under section 190, and order of investigation is given after taking cognizance under section 190. So in section 202 clause 1, if investigation is ordered by magistrate, it means magistrate has taken cognizance under section 190. Now cognizance means application of judicial mind. So if magistrate has applied judicial mind and entertained the complaint, it means magistrate has started the process from section 200 onwards. Then he cannot order investigation under section 156 clause 3. So by virtue of 156 clause 3, IO, that is investigating officer, he would submit police report as per section 173 clause 2. But as per 2021, police will not submit its report as section 173 clause 2. The report would be submitted under section 202 clause 1. Section 173 clause 2 talks about police report, how police report is to be filed, the format and other relevant details. Now, after police report, the magistrate would either discharge the accused or frame the charges. If police report is submitted by virtue of section 156 clause 3, then he would either discharge the accused or frame the charges. But here magistrate would either issue the process or dismiss the complaint, because section 200 onwards the process is mentioned where magistrate entertain a complaint. So he would either dismiss the complaint or either issue of process, means he will now call the party and will move to commence the trial. Here magistrate is deemed to take cognizance on police report. Here magistrate is taking cognizance on police report, but by virtue of investigation under section 202 clause 1, he is deemed to take cognizance on original complaint. Now in further lectures we'll be dealing with these minute details. Then when magistrate is starting the trial, then how that trial, the background of the trial, whether it was investigation or it was complaint. So it will be widely dealt with the provisions of trial. Section 154 and section 156 clause 3. 154, it talks about if police officer and SP refuse to file the informant. So if police officer refuse to file the FIR, then SP would be approached in writing. But if SP also refuse to file the FIR, then informant may approach to magistrate under section 156 clause 3. And if informant approaches to magistrate under 156 clause 3, then magistrate, instead of taking cognizance under section 190, may order the police officer to investigate. Further, magistrate may advise the informant to contact superior officer under section 36. As per section 36, superior police officer may be approached and he will have the power same as that of police officer in charge of station. Now steps to get the FIR filed. First, if police officer does not file the FIR under 154, then informant may approach to SP, section 154 clause 3. If SP does not order filing of FIR, informant may use section 36. Now if superior officer does not file FIR, then informant may approach to magistrate under section 156. If magistrate refuse to entertain the informant, they may approach to High Court under writ petition or under section 482. That is inherent power of court. So whatever section 36, 482, 156 we are talking about CRPC only. If any other section of any other law is mentioned, that will be specifically stated. Informant can also write to Home Ministry regarding non-filing of FIR. So these are the steps. So these are not in hierarchy in the sense that if 154 is not there, then 153 clause 3 is there. Person cannot directly move to SP. He should not move. SP may entertain, but he should not move or breach the hierarchy. Then he will go to 156 clause 3, or he may directly go to 156 clause 3 by virtue of section 190. We dealt the same in box 1. That is, this box. Section 157 has already been discussed in part 1. However, few important points. One important point is there. The purpose of 157 is to keep the magistrate updated so that magistrate may control the investigation. For example, in case of unnecessary delay. However, magistrate cannot interfere with the investigation. There is a difference between interference and control. So by control, it does not mean that magistrate is regulating the investigation. He is just putting a check on it. For example, in case of unnecessary delay. Section 159 already discussed, but few main points are given as below. First, pre-inquiry is to be conducted based on police report under section 157. So the inquiry which is being conducted by virtue of section 159, it can only be conducted on the basis of police report which is submitted by virtue of section 157. Now, magistrate can only order investigation under section 159 if police has refused to conduct investigation. Magistrate has no power to suspend the investigation and order the inquiry. So, if police has refused to investigate the matter and mentioned it in report submitted by virtue of 157, then only magistrate can order investigation by virtue of section 159. So friends, if you like the video, you may subscribe the channel, you may press the bell notification, you may like it, you may place your comments, or if you want a lecture or video on specific topic, you can comment for that also. Now section 158, it provides that report under 157 would be submitted by through senior police officer. Now the purpose is that senior police officer has much experience and he can instruct the subordinate regarding conduct of investigation accordingly. Now one main point, inquiry is conducted by magistrate only, INQUIRY, which we talked about when we started this video, and cannot be conducted by police. So inquiry is conducted by magistrate and police cannot conduct the inquiry.